up, man? Nice bike. I like the color scheme. That shit's awesome.
You like that?
Looks like the Wolverine.
I've heard that before.
Millions of people living this world. Maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate. And who won't stop here? Like the
What up, T?
Hey, can I take a ride?
Hell yeah. Hop on, babe. Send it. Hi, this is Kaplan, and this is my all-time favorite motorcycle, the Harley Davidson FXR. Bought my first one in 1990. I've built dozens and dozens of these. If you look on our YouTube channel, you'll see how some of the most kick-ass FXRs ever. And I believe this one takes the cake as the highest end one we've done yet. This one's a complete frame-up build. It started out with a brand new Santee custom FXR frame. The actual bike originally started construction. It was a 5-year process. Bill Freeman, the gentleman who built the bike originally, he was in the Marines. While he was building the bike, he started ordering parts. His wife was a CPA. She added everything up. He had $27,000 tied up in parts and paintwork on this bike. And I think the results can kind of speak for themselves. So he was in the Marines. He gathered all the parts from 94 to 98, and he took a year to build it. I have all the receipts. I have 60 pages of receipts on this bike, which is pretty ridiculous. It's one of the most well-documented bikes I've ever had here. So I've got the title, nice clean title, one owner title, 1999, signed by him to us on May of 2018, so a couple months ago. I've got the registration. I also have the dyno report on the bike. He had it dynoed after it was built. This is before he put the Mikuni smoothbore on it, so it should have another 3 horsepower. It had 73 horsepower and 73 foot-pound of torque. So real strong 1340 Evo engine. Also got the new Oleans suspension shocks we just put on there. These are custom built by Oleans for us. I have the receipt for that. I can go over the paperwork with you a little bit later, but there's a total of 60 different individual invoices, some of them with multiple items on there. So you've got a top-of-the-line Santee frame. When Santee built this frame is has the exact same linkage on the front as a stock Harley Davidson FXR. All the components on the bike are brand new when he purchased them to build the bike. The rear of the frame, however, Santee did not like the style of the FXR, and one of the reasons they discontinued the FXR is it has more of a British look on their end. So they went with their traditional FXE suspension, which is very similar to a new Dyno. If you look at a new Dyno, the geometry is almost the same. So you've got a Santee frame, FXR frame, powder coated with a fully chrome swing arm and a brand new set of Olean shocks on there. On the front, it's got the Harley Davidson Fat Bob forks off a FXST, brand new set of forks with heavy duty springs on there. The lowers are chromed, the uppers, the triple trees are chromed. So the suspension is off the hook, one of the best handling FXRs I've ever ridden. Thing handles perfect, tracks perfectly straight, 95 miles an hour down the highway. This thing is rock steady, no vibration, no wobbling or anything. It just handles like a dream. It also has a brand new set of Michelin Scorchers on there. These are the best tires. You can see it still has the nubs on them. These tires have probably less than 30 miles on them. They're brand new Michelin Scorchers, front and rear. The mag is a full aluminum custom mag on the front. It has GMA dual disc brakes on the front. It was $650 just for the brake set on here. The front end the receipt for the front end was $950. There's a $450 front wheel on there. The rear wheel is a Harley Davidson off an FXRC. This is the same wheel they put on an FXRC. So that's a Harley Davidson rear wheel with a Michelin Scorcher. Look how fat that tire is. 150 Michelin Scorcher. The paint job is off the hook. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's the calling card of the bike, obviously. I have a matching jacket that if you buy the bike for the buy it now price, it includes the jacket. This jacket is a replica of the Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. I don't know if you watched that movie where he had a custom FXR. I had this jacket made as a replica of that, and it has the FXR logo on the front. And what did you say about the colors, Emma? You said the aesthetics are hot, so it matches beautifully. So it's got the lightning bolts on the back. Just a really cool jacket. It's got the Evolution sticker for the Evolution engine. This is a Harley Davidson FXR Evolution engine. I'll get into what the engine has on it in a second, but just a really cool jacket that comes with it. Anything less than the buy it now price doesn't come with it. And I'm going to give you an option on the suspension. If you want to go with the progressive shocks, I have a set of progressive shocks that are 12-inch. These are 13-inch Öhlins. If you buy the bike and you want the progressive shocks, we'll knock $1,000 off the price to put the progressive on. And we keep the Öhlins. These are brand new shocks. They retail for $1,500. I have the dealer receipt was $1,266. These shocks, let me talk about these for a second. These are Öhlin Blackline shocks. You cannot order these from off the shelf from Öhlins. You have to special order them. It took 6 weeks to get them. To have the Blackline shock, this is a top of the line, has compression and rebound dampening with the gold reservoir. That they don't make them like this. You have to special order it. Special order with the dampening and suspension spring rate that is perfect for this particular bike with the Dyno style suspension. So again, suspension, tires, brakes, everything's off the hook. Can you shut that off? The brake system again is a triple disc GMA brake. Look at the calipers and rotors on this thing. These are billet aluminum calipers, about $1,000 for the set, front and rear, top of the line with the matching rotors. They're actually drilled rotors, so just a fantastic setup. The body kit on the bike, it has a Fat Bob tank. This is a 5-gallon gas tank, which is, most FXRs have like, I think it's a 3.6 or 3.7 gallon tank. This is 5 gallons, so if you're gonna go up to Laconia on this, which I actually rode this in Laconia with some buddies last weekend, and this thing was on point, on the highway, 90 miles an hour all day long, just loping along. This is a bike you can ride all day long, 85, 90 miles an hour, and it's got huge tank on it, so you have plenty of fuel. You got the Fat Bob gas tank, the brand new speedometer. The bike only has 4,000 miles on it, just turned 4,000 miles. One owner, 4,000 miles. Like I said, he was in the military. For the first 4 years, he was accumulating the parts, and he was a state police officer for 20 years and just retired. So I had my eye on this bike for a couple of years. I was going back and forth with him, and finally he bought it up. I purchased it this spring and went through the bike and did a bunch of things to bring it up to the best standards on the suspension, the Öhlins, the tires. We went through, changed all the fluids. We put a brand new ignition on it, and an ignition switch. The fairing, this is a Harley Davidson part. The quarter fairing, Harley Davidson quarter fairing. The headlight is an Arlen Ness headlight bucket. The risers, I put these risers and bars. This is my favorite riser and bar set. This is off a 2014 Dyna S, Harley Davidson Dyna S. It was quite a project to run the wires through the bars. Originally the wires were on the outside, so we ran the wires through the bars. Everything on the top of this bike is all chrome. All of the housings are chrome, the buttons are chrome, the mirrors are chrome, so there's over $500 in custom chrome controls. The risers and bars are about $300. Brand new rubber bushings here. You got braided stainless line on the front caliper. This is a GMA brake caliper. Braided stainless lines all the way down, so there's no flex on the brakes. The brakes are on point. The suspension is mint, rides like a dream. The lower fairing, it has a quarter fairing with a custom pinstriping on it, black and red, to match the black, red, and orange and yellow flames job that's on the bike. It has the Harley Davidson traditional bar and shield logo on the front fender, along with the Fat Bob, Fat Boy style front fender, and the FXXT style rear fender. It's got the FXR logos on the side, obviously. This is a Harley Davidson Gunfighter saddle. So that pretty much summarizes the running gear. Again, GMA brakes, matching drilled rotor with the scallops on it on the rear. I think I pretty much covered all the running gear. I'm going to get into the engine next. Kenny, did I cover all the running gear on it? Oh, forward controls, which are awesome. If you want to be comfortable, the forward controls of these bars, everything's right where you expect it to be. Full custom forward controls with a high performance GMA scallop drilled caliper and rotor and master cylinder. So the whole brake system's top shelf. When he built this bike, what he did is he bought the best components that you could possibly get to build the ultimate performance FXR. And again, $30,000 in receipts for parts, including what we put into it, over 60 pages of receipts. And the build time on it probably took him about a year to build the bike, a little bit at a time. So to build a bike like this, if you go to Big Bear Choppers and have them custom build an FXR like this, you can easily spend $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. This bike has been sorted out, it's priced right, and it rides. I had a brand new Dyna S. That was my daily rider last year, Harley Davidson Dyna S. This is the only FXR I've ridden that I felt that was on point with performance with the new Dyna S, as far as the way it handled and everything. So I think that has a lot to do with the type of suspension that's on it and the frame. So getting back to, let me get into the engine now, because there's a lot to talk about with the engine. There's a stack of receipts for the motor. Come around this side, I want to show you something, Kenny. He started off with the most solid foundation you could possibly get. These are Delcron cases and a Delcron transmission housing. So top of the line cases, and he put the top of the line S&S crank inside there, and he went with Harley Davidson OEM cylinders, and he had them matched to a set of RevTech heads. These are high performance CNC machine heads with dual plugs. So it has 4 spark plugs. It borrows from airplane technology. In airplanes, they always run 2 plugs per cylinder in case one fouls. So this thing has got plenty of spark and it flows beautifully. Again, this is a 1340 and it pulled 73 horse with a smaller carb on it. It now has the right carb on it, so it should be pulling in the high 70s. The carburetor alone, I have the receipt, was $685 for the carb. It's a big bore Mikuni smooth side big bore carb. So you've got RevTech heads, Harley Davidson cylinders, S&S crank. The whole primary is all brand new components. Inside the primary, it's got a Barnett clutch, so it hooks up beautifully. Inside of the engine cases, it has a 5-speed close ratio transmission in the Delcron cases. So if you come around the other side, you'll see it has a Delcron case with it's a billet adapter plate for the Harley. This is an actual Harley Davidson part for the clutch. That's probably the best one you can get for it. Custom horn, gold braided stainless oil lines, horseshoe style oil tank with a, I don't know if you can see, can you zoom in on that? It's got the Harley Davidson logo on it on the temperature gauge. Has a drag specialties oil pressure gauge. So just a fantastic bike. The carburetor again is in the, look, if you zoom in there, it's a Mikuni smooth bore carburetor, the biggest one they make. So this thing can pull a lot of horsepower. Super smooth. I've ridden big cubic inch FXRs before. Matter of fact, I just sold one with a 113 in it, and I like the lighter, smaller engine as far as the vibration and the weight. This is a little bit lighter motor, so it performs flawlessly. From the first minute I got it, I was like, this bike's on point. So it's got the Oleans emblem on the swing arm on both sides, brand new shocks, a 2-in-2 performance exhaust. So just a fantastic bike. Everybody's ridden on it or seen it. It's a real head turner and it's a conversation piece. So all the bugs have been worked out of the bike. It has no issues right now. Starts right up, runs perfectly. It has a brand new battery in it. We just did the battery. It's got brand new battery cables. The ignition was in ignition key assembly here is brand new. We just put that on there. All the wires are rerun through the bars. It's got brand new grips on it, brand new tires. It's ready to go. If you have any questions about the bike, give me a call, 860-454-7024. Hopefully it goes to a good home. Again, the buy it now price includes the jacket and the Olean shocks. If you buy it at the buy it now price and you don't want the Olean shocks, I'll knock $1,000 off and I'll put the progressive shocks on there. And I'll actually, let me grab those. I'll show them to you so you know what they look like. So, the other thing, Arlen Ness push rod tubes. These are from the Arlen Ness catalog. Custom blue, 4 blue Axel plug wires. Frame was powder coated. Custom paint job with the painted on flames. These are not decals, they're painted on flames. The Harley logos are decals, so those can be changed if you want to. That pretty much summarizes it. Kenny, is there anything you want to add to the bike or to this? What the?
I don't think so, Ken.
All right. Well, we're FXR experts here. We love FXRs. I probably own more FXRs than anybody you know. So I think I have, like, to speak from experience. I'm also an AMCA judge, and I'm actually judging at the Thompson Motor Speedway this weekend. So I know what I'm looking at, and this is one badass FXR. So, but don't take my word for it. Come look at it. Look at the pictures. Listen to the video. Listen to it run on the video, and I think you'll agree this thing's on point. Belt drive with a chrome belt cover. So come around this side, you can see the whole side of it. It's all chrome. The primary, the swing arm, the fork lowers. You know, real nice touch having chrome fork lowers and a chrome swing arm. It just ties everything together beautifully with the chrome wall tank. Stunning machine. It's not something you're going to confuse with anything else on the road. You'll be the only one in town rolling up on one of these. Anybody can buy a brand new dyno or a street bob, and they're a dime a dozen, but no one is going to. You pull in the Laconia on this, it's going to turn heads everywhere you go. So good luck bidding on the bike. We're about to open the museum building next door, so a portion of the proceeds are going to the motorcycle museum. So you're buying a piece of moto history, a full custom FXR. The only people I know that build these now is Big Bear Choppers. Check them out online, see what they get for one of their bikes. They're super expensive. You can buy this for a fraction of the price. That's a fantastic investment. Sure to appreciate and be fun for years to come. So good luck bidding on it. God bless America.